Hi everyone, Jon Mitchell here, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So let's start, as we have been starting for some time now, with COVID-19. So this week marks 2 years since the start of our response to the pandemic. It was this week that emergency orders were put in place. It was this week that events started to be canceled. It was this week, 2 years ago, that we really started to understand that COVID-19 just wasn't another virus from Asia that was a false alarm. And as we know now, as we've learned the hard way, some 2 years down the road, this was a real pandemic. And so, there's a lot to be said about what's happened in between. I want to just sort of limit my comments today to this. We're pleased that it is where it is now. We've come off the surge in the last couple of months. In January, some 60 people in New Bedford died, which is just an enormous loss. And here we are now in March, and the case numbers are down in the single digits, which is great news, and it's a huge relief. We do know that COVID will be around. We can say with some confidence that COVID will be around for the foreseeable future, and we can also say with a high level of certainty that our immunity to it will eventually wear off. That's just in the nature of the vaccines. They're not permanent fixes. So what that means for us is that there could be another resurgence. When that'll happen, it's hard to know. Will it definitely happen? That's hard to know. Should we be preparing for it? Absolutely, and indeed we are in city government. We're going to keep a close eye on matters, as I'm sure cities and states and the federal government will of course do. But we need to just understand that there may be precautions that need to be taken in the future. Among those is the need for boosters. If we reach a point where additional boosters are necessary, that's something that that's our best defense. And so we just need to be ready for that. And if we are, then I think we'll put ourselves in a much better position to manage COVID going forward. The next thing I want to talk about are the federal ARPA funds, the American Rescue Plan Act funds, the statute that was passed 2 years ago tomorrow, actually 1 year ago tomorrow, as a response to the pandemic. And here in New Bedford, unfortunately, we haven't gotten to a point where we've started to spend the funds yet. We're still waiting for the City Council to formally accept the funds, but we have an opportunity, once the Council does that, to move forward with a number of important projects in the city. And I think that is going to really, it will make a real big difference in how the city emerges from the pandemic. Our goal is really to come out a stronger city than when we entered, and I think we can do that. We know that investments in housing and in open spaces and in small businesses and a number of other things will put us in a much, much stronger position. And we're ready to do that. As soon as the City Council accepts those funds, then we'll go ahead and start moving forward with it. We've had constructive conversations with the City Council in the last few weeks. I'm confident that the Council's heading in the right direction, and we look forward to actually getting those funds activated so that the city can really start to get back on its feet. In the spirit of getting back on our feet, one of our big events is coming back. For the last 2 years, the New Bedford Half Marathon has been canceled. In fact, when I canceled the half marathon 2 years ago, that was one of the big first cancellations, and it was one that I think, as we look back on the time in the pandemic, that was something that was really sort of the start of a whole lot of disruption. It was necessary, but something that certainly did start to change life here. But it's coming back. It'll be on March 20th, and it'll be great to see everybody out running in the race. It's just something that's brings a lot of folks out during on that Sunday in March every year, and so it's just another sign of things getting back to normal and people getting together, which is so important after what we've been through in the last couple of years. So we look forward to that. We hope that you can come on out, support the runners, and support the event wherever you are in the city along the route, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So with all that, this has been the Mayor's Weekly Update. We'll see you next week.